Forget the standard issue lightsabers of your average Jedi Knight or Sith Lord. We're not talking about those. In the forgotten corners of the galaxy and in the hands of the most powerful Force wielders, there are lightsabers of such insane power and unique design, they can only be called God tier. These aren't just weapons, they're legends. And today, we're ranking them. Welcome, everyone, to the definitive ranking of the most powerful, most unique, and most legendary lightsabers in the entire Star Wars saga. Now, when I say God tier, I'm not just talking about a different color or a slightly tweaked hilt. I'm talking about weapons that completely break the mold. Blades powered by impossibly rare crystals, designed with terrifying creativity, or wielded with such skill that they literally change the course of galactic history. To do this right, we're judging these weapons on 4 key criteria. First, their unique design, how their build gives them a tactical or psychological edge. Second, their crystal, the heart of the saber and the source of its unique power. Third, their legendary feats, the incredible moments and battles where these sabers proved their might. And finally, wielder mastery, because a lightsaber's potential is only truly unlocked by the person holding it. Now, it's super important to get one thing straight before we start. We will be looking at both official Star Wars canon, that's the movies, the current shows, books, and comics, and the expanded universe, now known as Legends. Legends is that massive collection of stories told before Disney took over, and it has some of the most outrageously powerful concepts in all of Star Wars. We'll be sure to clearly label which is which, because to truly find the God-tier weapons, we have to look at every story ever told. So let's ignite the list. Kicking off our list at number 5 is a weapon that's less of an elegant tool and more of a barely contained explosion, Kylo Ren's Crossguard lightsaber. This weapon is the perfect physical manifestation of its wielder, conflicted, raw, and just seething with untamed power. First, let's talk about that iconic and controversial design. The Crossguard isn't just for show, it's a functional necessity born from the weapon's flawed heart. At its core is a cracked Kyber crystal. During the dark side ritual of bleeding, where a Force user bends a crystal to their will, turning it red, Ben Solo's internal conflict was so great that he fractured the crystal itself. This damage makes the energy flow chaotic and unstable. Those 2 smaller blades, the Quillons, are actually exhaust vents, bleeding off excess, furious energy to keep the main hilt from overloading and blowing up in his hand. But this flaw is also its greatest strength. The blade crackles and spits. Its jagged, fiery look is a visual warning of its immense and volatile power. It's not a clean, precise cutting tool like a Jedi's saber. It's a brutal, destructive instrument. The sound alone is terrifying, a snarling, aggressive hum that is worlds away from the clean snap hiss of a traditional lightsaber. In terms of feats, Kylo Ren's saber proved its lethality time and again. It was a weapon of pure offense. In his duel against Finn, we saw the Crossguard's practical use, as he caught and trapped his opponent's blade, a move impossible for a standard saber. Its raw power let him slice through bulkheads and scenery with terrifying ease, and its unstable energy gave every strike an explosive, concussive impact. Kylo Ren's Crossguard makes our God tier list because it represents a different kind of power. It's not about balance or precision, it's about raw, unrestrained fury. It's a weapon that is constantly on the verge of tearing itself apart, much like the man who wielded it. Its design tells a story of pain and power, making it one of the most thematically and visually compelling lightsabers in the entire canon. At number 4, we have a lightsaber that is unique in the canon for one simple, awesome reason: its color. But Mace Windu's amethyst blade is so much more than a style choice. It is the perfect extension of one of the most formidable Jedi Masters in history, and his one-of-a-kind approach to the Force. Let's start with the color itself. In current canon, a Kyber crystal's color is a reflection of the Jedi's own spirit and connection to the Force. The fact that Mace Windu's blade is purple is seen as a manifestation of his unique philosophy. It symbolizes his ability to touch the emotional fury associated with the dark side without being corrupted by it, a balance between Jedi blue and Sith red. This brings us to Windu's fighting style. He was the creator and sole master of the 7th form of lightsaber combat, Vapad. Vapad was more than just a set of moves, it was a state of mind. It required a Jedi to walk dangerously close to the dark side to channel their own aggression and the fury of their opponent into a controlled, devastating attack without falling into true darkness. It was a razor's edge that few Jedi could even approach, let alone master. His purple lightsaber is the ultimate symbol of this balance. A Jedi who uses the edge of darkness to serve the light. This all leads to its most legendary feat and arguably one of the most important duels in galactic history, Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious. In the Chancellor's office, armed with this unique blade, Windu faced the most powerful Sith Lord of the era. He didn't just hold his own, he was winning. Using Vapad, he took all of Sidious's dark side energy, all of his hatred and power, and channeled it right back at him, cornering the Sith Lord and gaining the upper hand. For a moment, he had won the duel. It was only Anakin Skywalker's desperate intervention that turned the tables, leading to Windu's tragic end. But the fact remains, Mace Windu and his purple blade were capable of defeating a Sith Master that even Yoda couldn't, a feat that makes this weapon truly legendary. Mace Windu's lightsaber isn't just God tier because it's purple. It's God tier because it represents a level of force mastery and moral complexity that is almost unheard of in the Jedi Order. It was the perfect tool for a one-of-a-kind warrior, a weapon that proved its strength against the ultimate evil in the galaxy. Coming in at number 3 is a weapon that is less of a tool and more of a crown. The Darksaber is an artifact so steeped in history and significance that its power goes far beyond its ability to just cut things. It is a symbol, a legacy, and a heavy burden. The Darksaber's origin is totally unique. It was created over 1,000 years ago by Terra Vizsla, the first and only Mandalorian to ever be inducted into the Jedi Order. Unlike the cylindrical energy beams of other lightsabers, the Darksaber has a flat, katana-like blade of black energy that seems to absorb light, surrounded by a crackling white aura. Its sound is also distinct, a higher-pitched, almost screeching hum that actually changes with the wielder's emotional state. After Terra Vizsla's death, the saber was kept in the Jedi Temple. But during the fall of the Old Republic, members of House Vizsla liberated it and brought it home. From that moment on, it became the ultimate symbol of leadership for the Mandalorian people. According to their tradition, the Darksaber can't just be given, it must be won in combat. Whoever holds it has a legitimate claim to rule all of Mandalore. This elevates the Darksaber from a personal weapon to a political object of immense power. It has united clans, started civil wars, and dictated the fate of an entire culture. But its power isn't purely symbolic. The Darksaber has a unique connection to its wielder. As we learned in Star Wars Rebels, the blade's energy responds to the user's thoughts and emotions. Wielding it with a clear mind and purpose makes it feel light and powerful. But if you're conflicted or fighting against the blade's will, it becomes heavy and unwieldy, as Din Djarin found out the hard way. This creates a deep, symbiotic relationship between the weapon and its master. Throughout its long and bloody history, the Darksaber has been wielded by some of the galaxy's most formidable warriors, including Pre Vizsla, Darth Maul, Sabine Wren, and Bo-Katan Kryze. Each one added to its legend, from Maul using it to conquer Mandalore, to Sabine using it to liberate her people. The Darksaber is on this list not because it's the strongest in a one-on-one fight, but because its power is multifaceted. It's a key to an entire civilization. It commands armies and holds a cultural gravity that no other lightsaber can match. It's a weapon that literally judges its wielder, and in return grants them the right to lead. For that, it is undeniably God tier. We're about to break into our top 2, the absolute titans of lightsaber lore. We've seen raw power, balanced mastery, and legendary symbolism. What could possibly top them? What's your number 1 pick? Let me know down in the comments, and let's see if you guess right. And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive into galactic weaponry, consider subscribing so you don't miss our next exploration. Our runner-up for the most god-tier lightsaber is the signature weapon of the most feared being in the galaxy, Darth Vader. But this isn't just any red-bladed saber. It is a masterpiece of Sith engineering, relentlessly perfected by a fallen Jedi obsessed with creating the ultimate dueling weapon. After his crushing defeat on Mustafar, the newly christened Vader needed a new weapon. He took the lightsaber of a Jedi Master he defeated, Kirak Infila, and returned to Mustafar to bleed the Kyber crystal, pouring all of his pain, hate, and rage into it until it glowed a furious crimson. But Vader never stopped refining his weapon. He was a tinkerer, constantly upgrading its components to create a saber as brutally efficient as he was. Its most significant feature, recognized in both canon and legends, is its dual-phase function. By putting two Kyber crystals in the hilt, Vader could adjust their alignment with the flick of a switch. And what did this do? It allowed him to change the length of his lightsaber blade almost instantly. In the middle of a duel, he could shorten the blade for close quarters fighting, or suddenly extend it for a surprise lunge, a lethal tactic that could catch even an experienced Jedi completely off guard. This feature really speaks to Vader's nature as a fighter. He wasn't just a brute, he was a cunning and strategic duelist. The dual-phase function gave him a tactical and psychological advantage that was nearly impossible to counter. It took immense skill to master, since different blade lengths require different fighting styles, but for a prodigy like Anakin Skywalker, it became a deadly extension of his will. And let's not forget who was wielding this thing. Vader was one of the most powerful Force users of all time, and his lightsaber was the focal point of that power. He mastered Form 5, Gem So, a style based on overwhelming strength and brutal counterattacks, which he used to annihilate his opponents. His lightsaber was an instrument of terror that cut down countless Jedi, rebels, and anyone foolish enough to stand in his way. From his chilling hallway scene in Rogue One to his epic duels with Obi-Wan and Luke, this saber was there for some of the most pivotal moments of the Imperial era. While other sabers on this list might have a grander legacy or more exotic abilities, Vader's lightsaber is the absolute pinnacle of a duelist's weapon. It's a finely tuned instrument of death, customized and perfected by a Dark Lord at the height of his power. It represents the terrifying fusion of technological ingenuity and overwhelming Force mastery, making it a clear choice for our number 2 spot. And now, we've arrived at number 1. To find the undisputed most powerful God-tier lightsaber, we have to journey deep into the Legends continuity, to the first Star Wars novel ever published after A New Hope, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Here we find an artifact so potent, it makes every other lightsaber look like a training remote, the Kyber crystal. Let's be absolutely clear, this is a Legends artifact, and its power level is completely off the charts. The Kyber crystal isn't just a power source for a lightsaber, it's a force-amplifying engine of unimaginable scale. Described as an ancient relic, the crystal could magnify a Force user's abilities, with some sources claiming by a factor of 1,000, especially when near a strong Force nexus like the planet Mimban, where it was found. This isn't just a slight power boost, it elevates a Force user to near-divine status. The crystal granted its wielder incredible powers, including the ability to heal near-fatal wounds. But its most shocking feat comes from what it allowed Darth Vader to do. When Vader briefly got his hands on it, this crystal was so powerful that it enabled him, despite his cybernetics, to generate and project Force lightning, an ability previously thought impossible for him because of his suit's limitations. In the story, the crystal allows a still-developing Luke Skywalker to actually face off against a full-strength Darth Vader. It acts as the ultimate equalizer, and then some, amplifying Luke's raw abilities to a level where he can genuinely contend with the Dark Lord. It effectively turns a novice into a master, and a master into a god. The Kaiburr crystal could be cut and placed within a lightsaber hilt, and any blade powered by it would carry some of its incredible properties. But the blade itself is almost an afterthought. The crystal is the true source of power. It doesn't just create a sword of light, it forges a connection to the Force so profound that it bends reality to the wielder's will. There is simply no other lightsaber or crystal in either canon or legends that comes close to the stated power of the Kyber crystal. It completely breaks the entire power scaling system of Star Wars. It's not just a weapon. It's a key to unlocking godlike Force potential. For its ability to amplify power on a scale that is truly cosmic, the Kyber crystal lightsaber is, without a doubt, the number 1 god-tier lightsaber in all of Star Wars. Before we wrap up, a few honorable mentions are in order for weapons that are legendary but just missed the cut. First, from the Legends universe, we have Lumiya's Lightwhip. A Sith lady who was one of Vader's finest students, Lumiya wielded a terrifying multi-tailed whip made of lightsaber energy and Beskar alloy. This unpredictable weapon was notoriously difficult to defend against and was famously used to defeat Luke Skywalker in one of the early duels. Next, from the canon timeline, the Inquisitorious helicopter sabers. While they're often mocked, these spinning, double-bladed weapons were designed for one purpose: to intimidate and overwhelm the Jedi survivors of Order 66. Their spinning function could create a defensive shield against blaster fire, and thanks to small built-in repulsors, they even allowed for limited flight or hovering, making them brutally effective tools for the Emperor's Jedi hunters. Finally, we have to mention the iconic Darth Maul's double-bladed saber staff. While saber staffs weren't new, Maul's weapon brought the design to the absolute forefront of the saga. His simultaneous duel against Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi completely redefined lightsaber combat on screen and cemented this weapon as one of the most intimidating and influential designs in Star Wars history. So there you have it, our definitive ranking of Star Wars' god-tier lightsabers. We recapped our top 3. The Darksaber, a symbol of leadership with a power all its own. Darth Vader's dual-phase lightsaber, the ultimate duelist's weapon perfected by a master of the Force. And our number 1, the universe-breaking Kaiburr crystal lightsaber from Legends, an artifact of truly divine power. But what do you think? Did I miss a weapon that deserved a spot in the god tier? Is there a Legends blade that outclasses them all? I want to know your definitive ranking. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the lore, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more deep dives into a galaxy far, far away. Until next time, may the Force be with you.